Hello everyone. I have a weird brain. I'm sure most of you know this by now. But every once in a while, my brain decides to show its hatred for me by getting me into some really awkward situations. Mostly just by making me mishear things. Let me explain. So, you know when you're having a conversation, or more commonly when you're just listening to someone else talk, occasionally at some point during the conversation you kind of just stop giving them your full attention? Okay, you stop listening. Well, almost every single time when that happens to me, my brain goes, clearly you're bored. Allow me to make things more interesting. And then proceeds to create something that sounds very similar, but is very, very different. Case in point. A little while ago, I was talking to a coworker and at some point checked out of the conversation. However, unknown to me, at some point after I clocked out, she turned the topic to sexual harassment. Oddly heavy subject for casual workplace conversation. What she was talking about was how certain forms of playful touching can easily be counted as or escalated to molestation. A rather serious sentence. However, what my brain decided to relay to me was something 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 escalator in a mullet station. Now that phrase is both funny and interesting, so naturally I begin to giggle. And then I check back into the conversation because that is a talk that I want to be a part of. But once I check back into the conversation, I quickly realized that I was not met with the face of a woman who was just telling a lighthearted story about riding an escalator in a station of and or for mullets. I was met with the face of a woman who was just telling a very serious story about sexual harassment to someone who started giggling like a young schoolboy who just looked up the word penis in the dictionary for the first time. That took some serious backtracking to resolve that little misunderstanding. This happens far more often than I'd like to admit, actually. Another time, also when I was working, I happened to walk by these two people who were having a conversation, and one of them was saying how their cousin or friend was planning to go on a trip to Mount Kilimanjaro. Cool aspirations for your cousin friend. It's an otherwise normal phrase. But what I somehow heard and was very confused by was that this person was going to mount and kill a man named Jared. That was not the case, as I found out. The ears are deceiving, folks. Well, at least mine are. Does this happen to anyone else? Because it's really embarrassing. No? Anyone? Just me then? Okay. Anyway, that's all for this week. Just me being an idiot. Bye. Clearly you're bored. Let me make things more interesting. Is my brain British?